you to do maybe for the next few times is don't do a defense. Just keep your eye up and move. Just move. Don't, try not to, right? When you step in Kumite Dachi, your feeling is streaming towards your partner. That's the feeling. Okay, but what happens a lot of times is as soon as the guy makes an advance, your streamingness starts to get pulled into his movement. You go from here to being like that. And the technique takes on a reactive quality when it does that. Do you understand what I'm saying? Even though you're the defender, you don't want to be necessarily reactive. When he's coming in, whatever he's doing, I'm coming in, I'm just, whatever, even if my timing is different, the feeling is still sort of essentially like on him. So, the feeling is on him. But I'm never like here. You understand? That's how when you do quick draw, that's why the guy always wins that has that feeling. He's not reacting. He's already on the technique. Before, I didn't realize this, because I trained one time with Horton Sensei, and he said, can you feel it's over before it began? And that was a really cryptic thing that he said to me. But the more I thought about it, he was right. Because he was already through me before I even attacked him. He was not worried about what my technique was going to be. Do you follow? So when you're moving, you want to move in a way where you're already, even if you're going back, you're already mentally going in. Your feeling is already penetrating your partner. Okay? Give it a try. And then again, you don't want to be tight, because the tighter you are in your composition and your psyche, the more you're going to be butting up against something. So you're going in, but your body's relaxed. So then there's not a lot of crashing feeling, not only physically but psychologically. But you got to go. As soon as you sense his movement, you believe it. And again, I would say it's not robust in here. It's more like the feeling like sort of down in your feet. And it can be succinct, but it doesn't have to be like angered. It can be succinct but still relaxed. Okay, and still connecting to your partner. Okay, it comes up and you're still exercising your connection. Okay, let's just try that one a couple times. It's a good one to get the right feeling in my composure here. If I cut and my shoulders are down and my eye is forward, there's almost like a feeling going out into the bookend, like a big, that kind of cut feeling like that. Now, I think you would recognize that's a lot different than this. You just see it, right? This is psychologically tight, physically tight. Not that. Not that. Okay, so when you're doing this movement, and I'm watching you a little bit, when you go to halt your partner, you don't want to be like this. This is this with the sword. You see what I'm saying? Your shoulder has to be really low. Your hand is out, and your feeling is really going forward. So my feeling in my body is like holding the sword in that way. It never deviates from feeling that way. It never goes a little bit like that and then goes back. As soon as we engage, my feeling already is that way. Do you follow what I'm saying? And it doesn't necessarily even have to be strong, but it just is. As soon as we're moving, my feeling is centered, for lack of a better word. Okay? So when you're practicing, imagine that. Don't have your technique operate with an element of trepidation. Let it operate with your full being. Okay, your step. Like that's the only moment in your life that ever mattered. Okay?